Good morning, Cancer and Bumblebee people. I'm doing a early morning reading because this might be the last time I see sun for a few days, looking at the forecast, so I'm going to keep the sun in the shot. So, in your interior world, we have the King of Pentacles and the High Priestess. How that's making you act on the outside. Curious. Five of Pentacles. This is based on Pamela Coleman Smith's at the base, Celtic Cross, at the base of the reading we have the Nine of Swords, and something from the recent past. It's probably quite noisy. If it's too much, I'll start again with the with some headsets put in, but it's nice to hear the birds as well. So the Hermit for something from the recent past, and a potential outcome, the Page of Pentacles, lovely. And here we have something coming up in your near future. Lovely. Ten of Cups. So this is all going from quite a worried position into something that looks better. So then your attitude, Two of Wands, your environment, Three of Pentacles, your hopes and fears. Wow, that was a lump that jumped out there. The Sun, the Magician, he's in the reverse, but I'm not going to read reversals. And the Seven of Wands. And we had two extra. Oh gosh, I'm going to take them because such a... And we've got the Devil, sorry, three extra. The Devil, the... Well, it's interesting, the Devil and the Seven of Pentacles in reverse, and then the Queen of Pentacles. As I said, I don't tend to read reversals. It's just something strikes me about that. And an outcome. An outcome. An outcome. Come on, outcome. Maybe because we've had so many cards before. So two now. Hanged Man. A change in perspective. And the Eight of Pentacles. Lovely. It's very nice. So big energies because we've got all these extra cards and lots of majors. We start with a major, then in the recent past we have a major that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 majors, but we have got 7 extra cards, but still it's got a lot turning up for you. And I'm going to dive straight in because I want these to be as quick as possible, but I'm going to take for really my guide, the base of the reading, which is this character who, even if you know nothing about tarot, I'm gathering that you might guess what's going on with her. It's about getting clear and not feeling worried on your path. So as we start, and by the way, Bumblebee people, because I've just seen one, which is extraordinarily early, a big fat bumblebee, that made me feel very happy, and then a bit concerned because it's due to rain for a lot of this week. In your interior, the King of Pentacles and the High Priestess. So they're really lovely. It's sort of as if the King of Pentacles looks after the High Priestess. He is looking towards her when I look at these two. And he is the card of somebody that is a great custodian. And he is very good at managing his wealth, and he's very secure and stable. And she's the mystic. She's sat in this kind of hinterland with the moon at her feet, divining, really, seeing into the true nature of things. So your sort of mystic side, if you're feeling quite intuitive, is being supported by something that is very stable. And he's looking after her, as I say. He's just looking, that's what's really jumping out at me today. And also the waters behind her pomegranate veil, they seem quite swelled to me today. And she seems to want to talk. She's looking very kind of directly at me. So for you, I feel this is a period of good intuition, and that you are, there's part of you that looks after that side of yourself. There's part of you that really values it and sees it as what gets you through in some sort of way in life. Like you don't try to squash it. I feel like it's very much being looked after by the King of Pentacles. But how that makes you act on the outside is this very impoverished card of the Five of Pentacles. Now, when we see the Five of Pentacles, we know that you're feeling left out of something. And maybe your intuition is ringing some alarm bells at the moment. Maybe it's working overtime to try and get you to change your path, looking at what we've got here, because these two don't feel like they're in the right place. They are needing to look up to see the stained glass window in order to get into this wonderful church. At the moment, they're feeling very left out, and at the basis of the reading, we're not surprised when we see the Nine of Swords. So this indicates the kind of crazy nighttime thinking, the over-worrying, the catastrophizing about everything. And there's all sorts of sort of little figurines around the bed. We've got this scene being played out at the base of the bed, with some cherubs almost play acting a fight. The bed itself looks quite uncomfortable. And then flowers, and then astrological symbols and symbols of the sky, like the sun and the moon. And it sort of makes me think, is it that there's quite a strong astrological transit coming for you at the moment? Have you been dragged around by the fates somehow? And so this is what's worrying you. But really, what's the point in worrying if you could sort of just go with the energy and harness the flow somewhat? And sometimes life is a bit hard, isn't it? It just is. And but this card definitely indicates over worrying, like catastrophizing. But because those symbols are jumping out on the bedspread, I suggest it probably is something to do with some transits, some things that are going on in the world sort of beyond your control, that you would love to have a bit more control over, and that probably being highly intuitive as you are, we can see with this prized high priestess who you look after so well, it might be that you're picking up on something intuitively that's really worrying you. So in the recent past, we have the Hermit, you trying to find your path. This is actually the year of the Hermit, so that's well placed. And I don't know whether the sun is actually a bit distracting. I'm just trying to look at it. Anyway, the sun, the star is in his little lantern, and he's in this very sort of snowy ground, a bit like your two characters in the Five of Pentacles who feel so left out. But now he's kind of got this very mature, grounded energy, and he's got his staff of passion, his star of hopes and bright dreams from the star, and he's going off to look for what he needs to find as his true authentic path. That might be shaking you somewhat. Maybe you've had a couple of revelations about what really you do want in life. Maybe it's a bit different from what you've been living out. One potential outcome is that you make a lovely new start. You start studying something new. Page of Pentacles. Look at that lovely golden optimism, a bit like the sun coming through. Can't resist just showing it to you again. I mean, it's difficult to see, but anyway. Actually, it's a bit annoying. So one option is the Page of Pentacles, this beautiful new start where you listen to your intuition and you learn to it's almost a retraining. He's a very good character, the Page of Pentacles. He really concentrates on what he's learning, and he's very impassioned because of his youthful energy. Now, in your near future, this lovely Ten of Cups, the optimistic card. I heard someone describe it yesterday as being that they're looking up at the cups. And I think that's absolutely lovely. What am I seeing here? It's a very sort of idealised scene. It's funny, I think in other versions of the Rider Waite, this is actually one of the stage cards. Would have two lines, but here they've they've melded them together. So the stage cards indicate to me a phase, but because in this particular set that I picked up this morning, it just doesn't quite have that same double line effect. Yes, it looks a bit like a stage, but I feel it's more of a permanent happiness that you're alighting on. This is kind of the ultimate emotional fulfillment card. Everything in its right order. So, and we're going from the 9 of the Hermit to the 10 of Cups. I mean, this isn't in the major arcana, but I'm just saying that the past was a 9, a major 9, and the future, near future, is a minor 10. In your attitude, we have you looking out, Alexander, overseeing the world, the globe, trying to work out what to conquer next. Yeah, it's interesting. I heard a definition yesterday that says he needs to just get out of his castle. I've never really heard that before, but I'm going to look into it. And there is an element of that happening here when we know that you've been a bit stuck and you're on a new path. But here, normally we would just say that he is surveying where he wants to go next. He's trying to sort of make a plan. So I think that's where you're at. What would really fulfill me, using my intuition, the High Priestess is the major 2. Intuitively, what is it that this character needs to alight on in order to go after next? That's your attitude. And in your hopes and fears, in your environment, we have the 3 of Pentacles, working with all parts of yourself, displaying your work, these beautiful roses and pentacles, all sides of the merchant, the architect and the labourer, the builder, creating this beautiful cathedral, working well together. So there is a balanced environment. The 3 is a very stable, the tripod is a very stable position. I'm looking at his bench. You know, sometimes I put the red glasses on and just check what's going on, because these are highly magnified and certain things will jump out at me. Yeah, the bench and his funny little blue, almost fishnet stockings I'm looking at today. And then this great big wad of cards for your hopes and fears. It shows why you might be getting into such a state, because you have such high ambitions. So we started with the Sun. You want to manifest something new. You want to ride away from past hurts, so recovering his body. We know what the Sun looks like, I'm sure, if you're here. You want this sense of renewal. Let's just have a little bit of the Sun. Oh, wow. It is nice, isn't it? You want this sense of renewal as you as you enter this new phase. You want to be open and full of optimism and feeling absolutely kind of beguiled and fresh and new in life, and a sense of command and sort of having mastered your trade and wealth that we get with the 9 of Pentacles. These are sort of high ambitions. These are wonderful aims to go for. Here she is, another golden environment of optimism in her beautiful garden with her tamed falcon. She's a solitary but very contented figure. So, and then there was this idea of the magician who was in the reverse. So if it was a slight fear, you might fear that you don't quite have the will and the wherewithal to go about getting this done. But I'm going to read him in the upright. These are huge ambitions to create something new. You know, maybe a slight fear that you're not going to, because he was in the reverse. And then also we have the sorry, there's so many cards I can hardly believe it, but we have the 7 of Pentacles, which was in the reverse, and the Devil that was in the reverse, and the 7 of Wands. Now let's cover those bodies of the people. So in the Seven of Pentacles, if it was in the reverse and it was one of your fears, it would be that you won't have the stamina to stick to this new change that you want. You'd fear that maybe it would just be too much for you, that you can't keep at it. But, you know, your hope is that you will keep at it, that you'll keep at it until the harvest is ready to go, that you've got the stamina to work going on ongoingly on this project. And then another 7, that you can keep your head above water. This is your hope, that you can deal with this huge amount of change that you're sort of dreaming up for yourself, that you can cope with all the new demands. And then the Devil, which was in the reverse, it could be that you're frightened you won't maintain your passion for it. But in the upright, it would indicate that what you're looking for is a very passionate engagement in your life and in whatever this project is that you're wanting to start, this new path, following your intuition. Possibly you've got a project that is about following your intuition. And then in the outcome, which is lovely, we have the Hangman and the 8 of Pentacles. So your fears of the 7 of Pentacles have given way to actually getting down and doing the work. There's a sense of commitment because you're actually doing the steps that take you to get there. And you've had a kind of epiphany, a change of view with the Hangman that's given you some sort of great insight. Everything feels different, and now you're prepared to start working. Is there anything that's jumping out at me on these? Well, interestingly, the 8 of Pentacles is a bit of a stage card. I can see those 2 little lines that I was talking about there. So it might not be that you have to work furiously hard forever, but anything that you're truly this passionate about and that you're going to become such an expert in, you would be happy to work so hard in. And if it's your true path, then there's nothing more lovely than that. And the Hangman, number 12, indicating some sort of Odin-like enlightenment. Amazing. So I'm going to pick you 2 cards from 2 other decks to cap this. One is the Enchanted Tarot deck, which is quite whimsical, and I like... What's this card? I just kicked that out of the pack somehow. It's lying on its own. Let's remember that. The beautiful partnership and love and marriage card. All right, is there anything you want to add to this reading? 3 cards, 3 of visions, the 4 of spells, which is the same as the 4 of wands, which we've just seen, and the white heart. God, it's a very, very optimistic energy that you've got going on here. I really feel like whatever you're aspiring to, I think is going to happen. And it's so lovely to see that after this sort of slightly faltering start of all the worries. And so these 3 lovely, you can see how happy these cards are. The white heart is this mythical good fortune beast. The 3 of bears dancing around, and 3 of visions enjoying themselves. And then this double confirmation of the 4 of spells, which is the 4 of wands, in this coming up again. So it's talking about really a partnership with somebody new. Maybe there's a marriage. Maybe this is about your high priestess as you, or you being the King of Pentacles marrying a high priestess, or vice versa. Maybe it's worrying. Is this your true path? I don't know. It's interesting with the double confirmation. So 4 of spells. Well, let's start with the 3 of visions. Friendship, pastime with good company, playfulness, laughter, the delights of companionship. This is what appears to be a rumble of aggressive bears is revealed to be quite the opposite. Garlands of blackberry and brambles, 3 bewitching bears are dancing together in celebration. What are they celebrating? Just being a beautiful day and that they are bears. What could be better than that? So it's about good connection with friends, gathering with those who you know well and whom you can be yourself. So being yourself, that feels very key to me. And then the 4 of spells, I'm going quickly because I've already talked a little bit more than I wanted to. 4 of spells, I love that. A time of celebration, ritual, a rite of passage, recognition of family and community, a reunion. So 2 cards of celebration. It really sort of says to me, you're going to get where this is great. You're getting this. These huge ambitions seem to be coming true. You are finding your true path. A party of flower sprites makes its way to the top of a fairy mound at twilight to join those already gathered here. It's an annual reunion when each woodland flower clan is represented and honoured. Some folk, the trolls, scorn these festivities that serve no practical purposes to them, but rituals important as remembering to connect with what's most precious, gathering with friends and family. Tonight is for partying. It's time to party, whether in recognition of a milestone such as a birthday or a rite of passage, it could be a wedding, an achievement that deserves to be honoured, or just having made it through some hard times. Giving some structure to the merriment makes it more meaningful and memorable. Dress as your favourite flower. I love that. You're being told there's a celebration coming. You're also being told to lighten up, which I really like. And then the white heart, which is the Fool. It's the beginning. This mythical beast. Look at him in the mist. At a glance, a new beginning, accepting the invitation, going forward with trust, the journey begins, follow your instincts. I mean, I think we're celebrating that you are starting a new part of your life. This is an invitation to enchantment. When you see a pure white deer, you are being called to follow it, and only the foolish would ignore such a beckoning. And yes, it takes trust to enter the forest, to explore the unknown and the enchanted. Mysteries await you according to what your soul needs for the journey. There are surprises around every bend, and often there's no path at all. It opens a portal into the wild, and your own wild heart responds. Step forward through the swirling mist that we've got here today, into the realm of apple, oak, ash and hawthorn, fir, willow, holly and hazel. There may be companions along the way and adversaries. The first step of the forest must be taken on your own. This is traditionally the Fool, and it represents the start of a new adventure and is undertaken with a pure heart and an innocent heart. Follow your heart, as in the white heart, there's the pun. Then the trees that are named in the description are in the card clockwise from left to right. So there's a whole bevy of beautiful trees representing things like the other world and endurance, action, protection, perspective, intuition, challenge, hazel and wisdom. So that is incredible, firstly, and I love that it was sort of suddenly there was a 4 of Wands on the table just to confirm that this bit of the message was meant for you. It's saying celebrate. Now here we've got a card from the Shining Tribe deck, which is Rachel Pollock's deck, and it's the Knower of Birds. Look at him, he's fun. What have we got to? And he is the King of Birds. Let's see. Right at the end it will be stones, gift of birds, speaker of birds, place of stuff. Maybe the knower of birds isn't the king. Maybe it's the anyway, maybe it might be the knight of swords. Wisdom, knowledge, development of ideas, psychic visions, and the ability to communicate clearly to others, setting up systems of thought. There's a little poem. Once we heard the voices of the trees, we talked with crows and knew the taste of smoke from hidden dreams. We set the stars in faces and walked among the shapes behind the shapes of clouds. So a Chinese myth talks about the origin of writing as somebody seeing images dropping down, which he combined with footprints of birds and tortoises. In ancient China, diviners read the will of God by touching heated iron to the shells of dead tortoises and examining the cracks. People all over the world have divined omens by watching the flight of birds, the messengers of the world, of the spirit world. Many stories tell of the hero who gains all knowledge by learning to speak the language of the birds. So we can describe this as a sort of code for divination, the footprints of birds and tortoises. So Many writers believe that women invented writing. Women stayed in the village when men were hunting, giving women more opportunity for creative discovery. Language has a facility for women, for the men needed to keep silent on the hunt and communicate primarily through gestures and subtle body language. By contrast, women in the village use words to help their community activities. Writing also shares qualities with the women's secret law of spinning. And a friend of hers, she showed this image and he said, but this is the story of creation. It's describing writing as necessary to record the most ancient text of divinatory wisdom, the Book of Changes. How strange. So writing developed it in code. Are you a writer? Are you a diviner? Are you doing something similar to this? Is this a sort of note to you to say that you're on the right path if you're using divination? Or are you a writer? Do you use your words in some important way? Or is it a reminder to use your words in some important way? It's curious, this image with all his symbols. Who does he remind me of here? I mean, he's not dissimilar to the hermit, so maybe you're trying to find a true path with some sort of divination or writing or communicating in a way to communicate the mysteries of the world. I'm going to take one final, I've already gone over my allotted time, little Rider Waite to see if there's a final word on this. I just think we're celebrating some incredible, passionate. I think you are in the world of communicating something divine, or with words. They're very important to you. It might be a reminder to be very careful with your words at this time if you're in such a magician energy. Yeah, another fool. It's just saying we've already had the Fool in the White Hart. It's saying you're on a mythic quest. It's kind of saying look out for the signs that are around you, and this is an amazing new venture that you're going on. It's a really optimistic reading. I'm so happy for you guys. Yeah, it feels like there's a beautiful new start, so all this anxiety gives way to really finding your true path, and it's a path of great happiness. And we've got 2 Fools here now, and we've got all this celebration for what you're about to achieve. Yes, it's going to take hard work and a change of perspective, but hey, that's life. And if you love it, you love it. So one final look at the sun. I'll leave you with that, and thanks for stopping by.